I'm telling you, there is no more customer service in the automotive industry. Hello everyone, welcome to G's Garage. This has been one of those videos that I have been dreading to make, but I've been wanting to make for a while. And it's me ranting about the state of the automotive industry today. It's not what it was. First job I ever had at age 15 was at a local full service Exxon gas station pumping gas. Gas was regular was 38 cents a gallon. I think premium was 65 cents a gallon. Back in those days we had to check all the fluids, check under the hood while the gas was pumping, set all the tire pressures, wash the windshield, top off the fluids that needed to be topped off. If you needed, a quart of oil or a quart of transmission fluid, we had the cardboard cans that you had to punch the spout in. Customer's happy. Car was checked over every tank of gas. And in those days, there wasn't a thought dropping customer service. Customer service was there all the time. It was part of your business. It was what you did. It was a service industry. That's a key word. It's a service industry. Fast forward ahead further than that, Chrysler certified technician, Volkswagen certified technician, Suzuki certified technician, Ford certified training instructor, Navistar, which is the military version of International Trucks, certified training instructor. Worked at Kia, Hyundai dealerships, Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche dealerships. Cut my teeth on the import and the domestic side. And of course, as you can see in the background, my love is air-cooled cars like the air-cooled Volkswagen that's behind me. But one thing I really noticed, there was still customer service at that point. Just an example, dealerships didn't have to keep their service departments afloat by gouging the customer. Now, I'm not saying we didn't have some technicians that might have embellished the repair work that you needed, but for the most part, honest, integrity, empathetic service personnel focused on service. And there was enough people to go around. There wasn't all this shortchanging. We pretty much, wouldn't turn anybody away. If we had to work on, well, let me back up even before that. Before all the customer satisfaction surveys and all that change in the industry, which in a way kind of ruined it, we would book all of our work on Monday and Tuesday for the entire week. And it wasn't so much the customers sitting around in the waiting area demanding. There wasn't the, quick service. They didn't wait. We would book everything for the whole week on Monday or Tuesday, and we would literally tell the customer, not that it was bad customer service, but we would tell them, look, we'll call you on Friday and give you an update. And there wasn't all this push and pull, quick service. Let me just try to gouge you and sell you everything you don't need. And something that I really noticed, the individuals that were writing up the service, the people that you were in contact with, the customer-facing service writers, had been former technicians, and they had credentials, and they knew as much or more about fixing your vehicle than the technicians did that were working on it in the back. And the technicians were high-quality, well-trained individuals. There was this big shift in the industry. There was some bigger companies coming in, buying out some smaller companies. There was a lot of focus on profit margins and, weeding out some of the higher paid technicians, replacing them with less expensive technicians. There was this big shift in, the qualifications for the job were not necessarily what you knew. or how well trained you were or what your experience was, but it was a lot of and I hate to say this, it's gonna raise a lot of probably bad comments, but the physical assets that you possessed were more important than your knowledge or experience. And individuals were put into positions that probably shouldn't have been there. And the first thing that I noticed is the customer service suffered. Because, you got individuals, and, it's still that way in a lot of the industry, who are getting paid commission. If the way you're getting paid is straight commission and your skill level isn't in line with your job description, you're probably going to be struggling to make ends meet, and something's going to suffer, I guess is the point I'm trying to make. So if you don't know enough to sell the customer what they need, you're going to sell the customer stuff they don't need. If you don't know enough to have, some talks with your customer and be able to, intelligently describe what's going on, you're probably going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be overworked. You might be working longer hours to try to make ends meet. And, a lot of that, what I saw, it weeded out some of the senior level employees in the automotive world, both on the customer facing side and on the technician wrench turning side. And they were replaced by less skill. We had a lot of, parts chasers, parts replacers, versus technicians and individuals who could really diagnose and repair vehicles. And of course, as customer service started to fade away, the industry introduced things like customer service indexes, customer service surveys to try to fix what I think was a bigger problem. Trying to mop up the mess they had made by, weeding out the skill and replacing it with unskilled workers, trying to cut cost. And now everything's driven off of what a customer says. My bigger point is just the whole customer service aspect in the automotive industry has fallen to a point where, in my opinion, there isn't any more customer service in the automotive industry. I was looking for a change of direction with my career, and I actually left the, not necessarily the automotive industry, but left the dealership environment, and I went to work as an instructor at NASCAR Technical Institute, and started training technicians, hundreds at a time, how to be technicians, how to provide outstanding customer service, how to do a better job, because the industry itself had recognized, one of the things that had changed is, there was so much focus on college degrees, and, that was the only path you could take to get ahead in life. And the technician programs, in high schools had gone away, and people just weren't coming out of school, headed into a career saying, hey, I think I'm gonna be a technician. They were going other directions and doing other things. And, 20 years ago, it was recognized that, hey, there's going to be a shortage of technicians, and there is already. There's a shortage of personnel overall in that industry. So again, what's gonna suffer? Customer service is gonna suffer and all that. Spent several years in Iraq working for Navistar, training soldiers on the big armored MRAPs and supporting that whole program, 7,500 trucks on the ground between Iraq and Afghanistan. Some of my training skills developed into not so much corporate or not so much technical training, but corporate training. And I'm currently in a position, and have been for the last several years, doing corporate training for a major equipment rental company. So I'm totally out of the technician training side of the house. I'm out of the dealership environment. I don't turn wrenches for anything but a hobby, for fun, with my own vehicles and for this YouTube channel. But again, back to my point of this video, it's a shame. And it really makes me upset because it's an industry that supported me for, probably 3 decades, if not longer. Well, now I've reached a point in the world that we're in that I can't trust the guys that are even doing the simplest thing on a vehicle, and not to mention trust getting a fair price for what they're doing. And man, what does a customer do that doesn't know what I know? I gotta believe they're all getting ripped off because of what they're dealing with as far as customer service out there. So now I'm not even gonna take my car in anymore for something as simple as an oil change. I'm gonna have to do it myself. All the services and everything, I'm gonna be back to doing it myself because I'm scared to take my vehicles in. So it's just ridiculous. The customer service is out the window. I know there's stuff going on in today's world that affects all of that, but I was out in my wife's BMW X1 right over my shoulder here, and the dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree because the tire was going down. Luckily it's got run flats on it. And I figured, let me stop and see. And of course, yeah, there's a screw in the tire. Easy fix, screw right in the middle of the tread, no big deal. Of course, it was Sunday afternoon. Well, go figure, there was only one tire store open within a 15-mile radius of my house, and it was a major, I'm not gonna say the name of it, but let's just call it a big box aftermarket tire and auto repair place. And I drove several miles over there and for a simple tire plug, and the first response I get out of the person who, by the way, wasn't at the counter, and I had to wait several minutes because it was, a short staff, nobody there to help anybody, a couple of customers already sitting around in the waiting area, and the gentleman comes out, and the first thing he says to me is, what do you need? Hey, can you plug a tire for me? Can you leave it? Was his first response. Can I leave it for a tire plug? Are you kidding me? I didn't say that. But I said, is that my only option? And his next response was, well, to be totally honest with you, I don't even know if I can get to it today. Like I said, luckily, Beamers have run flat tires because I'm driving all over the world, looking for some place that can do a simple $20 tire plug for me so I can get on my way. Even if that's the only place that has tires available that I need, I'm going somewhere else. And that's kind of been the general thing that I've run into lately with all of my experiences. Every time I go into a car repair place, now don't get me wrong, I worked a lot of years in the industry and I know right from wrong, and they can't snow me over like the average customer. I probably know too much. It's all about making the almighty dollar, selling you stuff you don't need, customers upset, everybody's in a hurry. And I'll tell you where that came from, in my opinion. I know I'm getting off into a rant here, but to finish this video out, up until Jiffy Lube started their 30-minute oil changes, there wasn't any of that crap going on in the automotive world. Like I said back at the beginning of this video, we booked all our work on Monday or Tuesday, and we told them, don't call us, we'll call you on Friday and give you an update. Then all of a sudden, here comes Jiffy Lube with their bright idea. We're gonna service your car in 30 minutes or it's free. And everybody has been chasing that format or that expectation since that started. And it's ruined customer service. And it's bled over to other industries, fast food industry, pretty much anything in today's world. You want it cheap and you want it fast, or you want your money back. And what happens when we get into a world like that all we can focus on, who's the fastest because I'm in a hurry, and who's the cheapest, here's what you're gonna give up: customer service.